It is the beginning of a new week and it's Monday. It's good to have you join us on Nigeria Now, showing on your digital first Pan-African news network, TUS Television. And as always, my name is Merciful Ajinamo. Joining me in the studio is Felix Adetobu, our analyst for today. How are you doing today?
Yeah, fine.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, we have a couple of headlines, that are making the rounds on the newspapers this morning. Let's begin from the Daily Trust newspaper. The banner headline there is "Yuletide, hard times for air travelers as ticket prices double." We have 4 riders. The first flies to South, fully booked. Airlines use festive period to recover losses. Booking racketeering booms. We have no power to fix prices. That's NCAA coming from that's on page 4 of the Daily Trust. Did you expect this kind of news at such a time like this?
Well, it's expected because the Yuletide season is always the time the transporters normally use to gain all the things they've lost from the beginning of the year down to the middle and the rest. So this is not new because the airliners too, because of the COVID-19 issue, a lot of things happened that they could not really work the way they normally do, and they've really lost a lot of passengers too due to lockdowns and the rest. So it's not good for us as Nigerians, but they too they pay salaries, so they have to do something about it, and now they've been booked. So definitely the economic situation of the country is worrisome, but there's nothing we can do. This is a reality.
Okay, on the picture of the day there, we see some pictures right there, just underneath that. Of course, the pictures are talking about a screenshot of the Just Cause social center after the attack. There was an attack in Just prison, and the banner the headline there is saying gunmen trapped after attacking Just prison. Of course, that story can be found on page 8. All this, I mean, it was just this year that we had a couple of attacks in Jos, and many people have said different things. But what do you make of the attack? Let me hear you.
We've had pockets of prison attacks, prison breaks, and the rest. This is another one, the latest in town, and I just hope that this will be the last one this year. Let me just put it that way. But we saw what happened in Imo State. A lot of and the governor was quick, though it was wrong, but it was quick to assuage, to attempt that to be from the opposition and the rest, or from whoever. But the main thing is that we need more security at our correctional centers. This is not good for us, where people just feel that they can attack government institutions and just get away with it. And we read that a lot of people too, a lot of inmates, they find their way out. And why wouldn't they find their way out? Because
they're looking for freedom.
Yeah, they are looking for freedom, and in the other way around, we can't really blame them, because someone that invade your place, the security personnel were dislodged. What do you expect them to do? Who knows if those people that entered happens to be
to come and harm them or something.
To harm them, so they will take to their heels. So we don't blame them, but the government, both federal and state, needs to do more to protect our facilities.
And that story can be found on page 8 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And then we see some headlines right there underneath. Ticket racketeering, passengers stranded at Rigasa train station. That can be found on page 6. Mobilized to grab power in 2023. AU tells youth federal government sets March 2022 target for Ajakuta audit. We can get out on page 34 of the Daily Trust newspaper. The banner headline of this day newspaper is Omicron COVID-19. Nigeria stands with South Africa. Warns West against discrimination. We have a couple of riders there. AFDB president says Africa should not be penalized for new strain. Warns vaccine manufacturing accelerated in continent. MFLA OPS seek proactive action. Ramaphosa urges countries to reverse travel ban. We can get out on page 8. Of course, we do know of the new strain of the COVID-19 virus, and people are saying it originated from South Africa. And now there's a couple of travel bans in different countries. But what do you make of this AFDB saying Africa should not be penalized for the new strain?
The thing is this: it didn't originate from South Africa. South Africa discovered it. You get, they discovered it on time, and I think these Western people should give kudos to Africa when they discover anything. What if South Africa didn't discover it and they
left
didn't make it
and
known?
it was now viral or something.
You see, and they now later discovered that in Germany they've discovered people with it. In many European countries, they've discovered people with, and this particular one is very, very dangerous. According to what we read, you know, it's like it goes straight to the heart when one is infected, and before you know, the person dies. So now that South Africa discovered it, what are they supposed to do? Are they not supposed to give kudos, you know, to these guys, you know, who have discovered it? Is it because it came out of Africa? This is not making sense. Instead of the world to join hands together to find a way to make sure that we quickly tackle this, they are laying, you know, putting blames on Africa. It didn't start from South Africa. It was already discovered by them. And I think the measures now being put in place, all these, they're already stopping flight from South Africa. That's not the way to go, because this was not discovered. You know, it didn't start from South Africa. South Africa only discovered it and they reported it. So why should we now suffer?
Okay, that story can be found on page 8
For being
of
truthful.
this day newspaper. Yes, we have a couple of headlines here that talks about the Omicron COVID-19. Just grab yourself a copy of any of the newspapers and read about this strain and the virus. And now on from the very top of this day newspaper there, we'll see how army using informant infiltrated, arrested fleeing terrorist in Lagos. A couple of riders there, 9 Brigade intercept, arrest another with explosives, uncovers more sleeper cells in Lagos, Ogun. Army establishes new brigade in Adamawa state. And then to the next newspaper there, which is The Nation, of course, talking about the Jos Plateau attack. Troops take over Plateau Custodial Center after attack. Gunmen trapped in facility. Situation under control, says NCS. We can read that story on page 7 of The Nation. From the very top there, we see security strengthened in Southwest over terror alert. We can get out on page 6. And then we see 5 INEC commissioners to retire December 5th on page 5. Nigeria to benefit from $4.3 trillion digital services. We can get out on page 5 of The Nation newspaper. The Guardian there, from the very top there, we see, of course, Omicron return of travel bans dampen all future air travel. We can get all of that story on The Guardian. And then from the beside the picture of the day there, we see Ben Obi faults Ken Nnamani on killing Obasanjo's 3rd term. And that can be found on page 3 of The Guardian. On page 5, gunmen storm Jos Correctional Center. On page 26, South Africa tourism industry thrown into chaos. And then on page 27, stakeholders query federal government's costly housing prices nationwide. And we're seeing a story there on page 2. Don't overburden us, Nigerians warn federal government on fuel subsidy. Of course, there's an international newspaper right here, which is The Guardian. The banner headline there says, booster scheme may be widened today to tackle Omicron spread. Of course, people are out there to read about this story. You can get out on page 6 of The Guardian newspaper. Then just on the Punch there, we see the banner is federal government bans 91 billionaires, VIPs, jets, insist on 30 billion naira duty. 3 riders there, the first top pastors, business moguls, banks and oil firm CEOs affected. NCAA fan NAMA get letters to ground affected planes. Aviation Ministry Customs on warpath over flight ban directive. And this story can be found on the Punch newspaper. On Daily Sun, the banner headlines talking about gunmen attack, Jos prison. You can get out on page 8. Page 28 of the Daily Sun newspaper. On the Vanguard, of course, is COVID-19's Omicron variant. Why travel ban won't work. That's coming from WHO, NIDS, NMA. And that can be found on the Vanguard newspaper. And don't forget to also stay updated on our website. That is www.tostvnetwork.com, so you can know what's happening in Nigeria and, of course, across Africa. Also, our social media platforms are displayed on the screen so you can follow and stay updated. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Many thanks for joining us on Nigeria Now this time. Again, my name is Merciful Ajidomo. See you tomorrow.